If you'd like online business explained to you in a way that you can actually understand, go to latenightim.com/explain. It's completely free and I made it just for you. Now, how about an episode? Episode 218.
Late Night Internet Marketing.
This week on the Late Night Internet Marketing Podcast, I'm going to give you a complete update after 90 days of drop shipping on Facebook Marketplace, tell you all about how I generated $22,000 in revenue and how you can get started drop shipping today. All this and more on the Late Night Internet Marketing Podcast.
The Late Night Internet Marketing Podcast.
You've been working for somebody else, but you want a business to run yourself. You want to know how to start and where to begin. Can you get out your comfort zone, my friend? Yes, you can do it right when it's late at night. At the end of the day, your dreams burning inside. So keep it up and you will find that you're building your business one night at a time.
And now, broadcasting late at night from a little studio in the big state of Texas, your host, Mark Mason.
Hey, how is everyone doing? I am your host, Mark Mason, coming to you from the little studio in Dallas, Texas, where summer is upon us. Actually, it's been the most strange summer ever. Record rainfall here in Texas in the month of May. Missed a lot of baseball games with my son because we got rained out a bunch of times, but things are going really, really well with drop shipping. And I wanted to drop in and give you guys an update. You know, several months ago, I had talked about drop shipping on Facebook Marketplace, how that was a thing and how my 14-year-old son and I were starting this new revenue stream, drop shipping on Facebook Marketplace. Now, in case you missed that episode, let me catch you up on a few fundamentals, kind of get everybody on the same page. So drop shipping on Facebook Marketplace and drop shipping in general is a very simple business model where you identify a product that is available for you to buy, something that you can buy, and you sell that product usually on a marketplace like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or Amazon for a price that is more than what you're going to have to pay for it. At this point, you haven't bought anything yet, but you're listing this for sale in a marketplace. So let's say we find blue widgets. We can buy blue widgets for $10 and we decide that we're going to try and sell blue widgets to other people for $15. So we list our blue widget for sale for $15. Someone buys it. We say, thank you very much. We take their $15 and we use 10 of those $15 to actually buy a blue widget from our source and ship it to the person who paid $15 for it. We keep the $5 minus any shipping or advertising fees or whatever. And at the end of the day, we make a profit. Well, Facebook Marketplace, as we discussed in a previous episode, is a marketplace that has kind of been like an online garage sale. And by the way, for those of you that aren't as old as me, that's exactly how eBay started out. But Facebook is clearly has the intent that they're going to expand this marketplace, and they've enabled something in the marketplace called the shipping option, which means if you list something on Facebook Marketplace, no longer do you have to say, yeah, I'll meet you in the Walmart parking lot to get your cash or porch pickup or all those things that you used to do on Facebook Marketplace that made it feel a lot like Craigslist. Now, Facebook will process the payment for you for a 5% charge, and they will give you the money. They'll deposit it in your bank account, and you handle getting the product to your customer by way of shipping. And that opens up the market on Facebook to the entire United States, which is really cool. Now, this is starting to come to other companies as well. But of course, my son and I, we're working in the US marketplace. So a real live example, we can list items and have listed items like, for example, a bike storage rack. And we can sell this bike storage rack that you might use in your garage. We list it on Facebook Marketplace for $45, including free shipping. And we can buy that item for maybe $29, including shipping, and ship it to the customer that buys it. And we keep the $16 minus Facebook's listing fees, or Facebook's actually transaction fees. There is no listing fee right now on Facebook Marketplace. You can list things for free, but when you successfully complete a transaction, Facebook keeps 5% of that transaction. So in the case of a $45 sale, Facebook would keep 5% of that $45, which would be something like $2.25. So that's how you do it. And when you're just getting started, the simple thing for people like maybe like you that's listening to this podcast is to find items that are available on sale at retail locations and sell them on Facebook Marketplace. So a lot of people identify items that are popular on eBay and they mark them up and they resell them on Facebook Marketplace, or perhaps on Amazon and resell them on Facebook Marketplace, or perhaps on Walmart and resell them on Facebook Marketplace as a markup. And a lot of people say, well, God, that sounds ridiculous. Why don't people just go to Walmart? You know, this is the way retail has been for all of time. I mean, when I was a kid, my mom used to go to every store in town to try and find the cheapest place to buy something. But most people don't do that. Most people see a thing and buy a thing, especially, you know, in this day and age. It's 3 a.m, you're on Facebook, you see this thing, you're like, oh, I need one of those. And you just hit buy and you're done with it. And it's not really worth your time to go figure out how you might be able to save $5. You just want the thing and you want low hassle. And Facebook probably in a lot of cases already has your credit card because you've set up Facebook Pay. And, you know, it's just easy. And so that's what goes on with these things. And we've been very successful. So I wanted to give you an update on what's been going on with our experience with Facebook Marketplace. Now, we're following very simple and straightforward methodology that's taught by this guy I've told you about before, Tom. If you're interested in looking at his course, and you can find that link at latenightim.com/Tom. You could be up in dropshipping this afternoon, really, by following that course. And he's got a sale going on right now. So look for that coupon code near on the sales page, and you'll find the current coupon code. You can get several $100s off right now at latenightim.com/Tom on Tom's dropshipping course. It's exactly what we're doing. Okay. And basically what we're doing is we're finding very popular products on eBay. We're listing a bunch of them on Facebook Marketplace, 10 or 20 products a day. Most of them don't sell all that well, but a few of them sell really well. And in the last 90 days, we've been able to generate $22,481 worth of revenue just drop shipping on Facebook Marketplace. So that $22,000 of revenue has been represented by 525 sales. And if you do the math, $22,000 divided by 525, you come up with an average sales price of about $43. So day in and day out for the last 90 days, and you can do the math and divide $22,000 by 90 and figure out that we're doing a couple of $100 a day worth of sales. Okay. So 525 sales averaging $43. So day in and day out, I get a notification from Facebook that some person that I've never met before bought some item, usually that I've never sold before, and I'm shipping them that item and keeping the profit. And so the question that you always need to ask whenever you're faced with these business opportunities like this online, and the question you should be asking me is just to say, Mark, yeah, $22,000 worth of revenue, but what's the profit, right? I mean, that's the problem that I see all the time when people talk about business opportunities and online business is they talk about the revenue, but a lot of times they don't want to tell you about the profit because their ad costs are so high that they're spending, maybe they had $1 million in revenue, but their costs are so high, they ended up making $20 after all of that. And that's one of the big challenges, by the way, with Amazon FBA right now, it takes a lot of money to get to high volumes, and the margins are small, and you end up tying up tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in working capital to make just a little bit of money. Return on investment has become relatively low on Amazon, at least in my opinion. For most normal people that can't buy warehouses full of stuff from China because you just don't have the purchasing power you need to get the right kind of margins. In my case, not so bad. So in a business like this, you have the idea of revenue, which I've told you is $22,481. But in addition to that, you have this idea of the cost of goods sold. And in 90 days, our cost of goods sold has been about $16,620. So the gross profit, the profit before any advertising fees or anything like that, has been $5,861. So in the last 90 days, starting from absolutely nothing, literally just working a couple of hours a day. I've had some help from a virtual assistant a little bit to get stuff listed on Facebook. She's amazing. And she's working from the Philippines to help us out with Facebook during part of that time. The gross profit from that is $5,861. And for those of you that are into percentages, that's a 26% profit. Now, actually, I will tell you that is on the low end for Facebook Marketplace. A lot of people, depending on what they're doing, are seeing profits north of 30%. But for various reasons that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute, our profits, due to the fact that we have some operational issues, our gross margin has only been 26%. Now, I told you, of that $22,000, every time you make a sale on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook takes their pound of flesh, which in their case right now is 5%. That is also low in the industry. Oftentimes, the seller fees that you'll see on a place like Amazon or Walmart is more like 15%. So Facebook's just getting started. They're new to this whole thing, and they're making it affordable right now. It's 5% right now. And after Facebook fees, which are our only advertising fees, we're not driving any traffic, we're not boosting any ads, we're not doing any of that, we ended up making $4,700. So for some of you, that will be life-changing money. You'll hear this podcast and you'll say, wow, if I had an extra $4,737, that was how much we made since February 28th was actually the day of our first sale. If I were able to show you how to make $4,700 in 90 days, you'd be like, wow, that is a lot of money. That makes all the difference for me in whatever I'm dealing with right now. That's exciting. And for some of you, that's not enough, right? That's not a big enough amount of profit. It's 20% profit versus revenue. Actually, 21.1% is our net profit. And actually, there are a couple of really small fees that I haven't computed in there, like the cost of some relatively inexpensive software. So let's call it 20% PFO. I think if you ran the business a little better, you could easily get up to 25%. What do I mean by that? One of the things that happens to you when you're selling in a marketplace is that you determine the price of the thing you want to sell. You look it up. Like you say, oh yeah, this looks like a great blue widget. I'm going to sell these blue widgets, and blue widgets today cost $10. And then you list that for $15. Actually, in my case, I mark up everything by 40% before I list it on Facebook Marketplace. So if I see something for $10, I'll list it on Facebook Marketplace for $14. And the reason that I do that is I'm going to have to pay tax. More on this in just a minute. Facebook Marketplace is going to take their 5%, which I've already told you about. And by the time I do all that, that's going to work out to about 20% profit or a little more in some cases. The issue is that once I list that thing for $10, the person that's selling it can and will, based on whatever's going on in the marketplace, whatever their supplier is doing, they will adjust their price, sometimes on a daily basis, but more often week by week, month by month, they're going to be changing the price. So if I list something for $10 back in March, if I had done that, I might go and sell it in May And I might find that now those cost $12. The price of blue widgets has gone up because the supplier price has gone up, because the price of fuel has gone up, because things are happening in the overall economy, maybe because the supply of blue widgets on the marketplace is low right now and my supplier can get away with charging more. All of those normal free market forces come to bear in this wholesale model, right? So that price goes up. If I'm not paying attention to that and increasing the price that I sell it for, all of a sudden my margins erode. And actually, that's happening to us in spades right now. There are items, we've got 1,000 items listed on Facebook Marketplace. There's no way we can keep up with all of those prices manually. We don't even want to. So if we sell something at a low margin, we go ahead and sell it. And then after we sell it, we mark it up. So the next time that we sell it, the price is back in line. But the result of that is that averages us down. And actually, I've got a plot of my profit margin as a function of time, and you can see it eking down over time. And now it's stabilizing at around 20%. Why is this a problem for Facebook Marketplace? Why isn't this a problem for Walmart and Amazon and other places, other marketplaces that are out there? And the answer is there's this thing in the market called repricing software that actually has the job that a human might choose to do, but it's just way too much work, of watching the supplier price and stock for that matter. And if the supplier price goes up, it has a mathematical formula that it can use to automatically increase the price that the item sells for. So for example, if my repricing software, which watches the price of blue widgets every day on eBay, sees that the price of blue widgets suddenly changed from $10 to $12, at that same moment when it sees that, it will interface with Facebook and it will change the price of blue widgets from $15, which it was before, now to $17 or $17.50 or $18, whatever's appropriate, given whatever mathematical formula I'm using. It'll increase that price immediately so that I can maintain my margins. And so that's what repricing software does. The problem is Facebook Marketplace is so new and Facebook has been so intentionally slow to release application program interfaces, APIs, or ways that computers can talk to Facebook. They've been so slow to turn that on that there's just not a lot of really good ways to automate the daily monitoring of thousands of items. And it's just not worth it for me to pay someone to check on thousands of items every day. Now, some people do, and they may feel like it's worth it, and that's fine. That's a debate you can have. But the kind of business that we're trying to run, a hands-off business, me and my son, I've got a day job. This is just something we're doing on the side. That's not the kind of thing that we would want to mess with. And so we're experimenting with some new repricers that have come out into the marketplace. We've got them working now, and we expect our margins to increase in the future as the bugs get worked out of those repricers and all of the kinks get worked out of the system. We expect that in the summer months that our margins will return. We're kind of targeting 25%. We'd like to have a final margin of 25%. And we feel like that's a reasonable price where we won't get a lot of returns because people found it cheaper and they want to return it just for that reason. And it's a, kind of a, if you will, a fair markup, whatever that means. Kind of the sweet spot seems to be right around 25%. It also gives us enough headroom to handle returns and things like that. So what about that? What about returns? Well, it happens, right? People buy a thing and either for some reason they want to return it. Either they want to return it because they don't like it, or they want to return it because it was damaged in shipping, or it didn't work in their application, whatever it was. In that case, it's no different than if you had bought the item yourself and you were returning it to eBay. You just go log on to eBay in this case, or wherever you're sourcing products from. Maybe you're sourcing products from Walmart or Amazon. If you're doing this as kind of from retail to retail, like we are, then you just log on to eBay and you say, hey, I want to return this. They say why, you tell them why. And then they either accept the return or they don't. And if they do accept the return, they give you a return label. You just turn around and give that return label to your customer. It's usually a PDF file. Your customer prints that out and they mail the item directly back to eBay seller. You get your refund from the eBay seller and you refund the customer's money. So what are some other things you got to think about when you're doing this? Well, you need some money, but not much. And how much money you need depends on how fast you want to go. So if you are buying products and shipping them to a customer and you are selling those on Facebook Marketplace, there's an amount of time where the customer makes the order and Facebook has the customer's money. And so you don't have it. And you've got to buy the product and ship it to the customer. And you need money to do that. And you don't have the customer's money yet. So you need what's referred to as working capital. You need some money that you can use to buy products and ship them to the customers while you're waiting for Facebook to send you the money that they got on your behalf. Now you may ask, well, what in the world is Facebook waiting for? Well, they're waiting to make sure that you really ship the product to the customer. In general, they're protecting the customer by holding the customer's money essentially in escrow for a few days or a week or 10 days until the shipping shows that the product has arrived. And they've got some rules around that, but I've found that they're generally holding money between 10 and 20 days. That's my experience. Part of it depends on when you enter the shipping number into Facebook, because you tell Facebook I've shipped it and here's the ship tracking number. If it's a good ship tracking number and fast shipping, Facebook will see, because of this, they have the ship tracking number, they'll see, hey, UPS says this has arrived, and they'll release your money. But in some cases, you've got shipping that maybe the tracking isn't very good, or you're using tracking that Facebook doesn't support. So for example, Facebook doesn't understand DHL. So if your product ships from DHL, then Facebook's not going to be able to track that, and they'll wait a full 20 days before they release your money. So all this to say, if you're doing $500 a month worth of sales, you might need $300 or $400 of cash to cover. And if you're doing $10,000 a month worth of sales, you might need $3,000 or $4,000 to cover. The good news is that all of this timing is sort of inside of a normal credit card payment window. So what my son and I have been doing, we've got a business credit card dedicated for this project. It has a high limit and it pays cash back. And we use that credit card to buy items. That gives us an additional little bit of protection if we need to dispute a charge on the credit card. And it also gives us cash back. It also gives us that float time. And as long as we pay the balance before the next month is up, then we don't pay any interest. And so that's essentially, we're using the credit card company's money in order to run this business. So you can do that. So if this sounds interesting to you, I hope you'll look into it, because a lot of times people tell me, hey, I need a side hustle where I can make a little money on the side. How can I do that? Right now, today, Facebook Marketplace dropshipping is a great way to do that. It's very simple, very straightforward. It's something that you can get help from your friends and family with. It's very easy to understand. And it's really just a matter of playing around on Facebook and selling stuff that you don't have in inventory, and you can make a little cash. Like I said, you can make, I personally have made $4,000 or $5,000 doing this over the last 90 days. And you can too. I'm not doing anything special. Now, I will tell you, the Federal Trade Commission wants me to tell you that you may not have results like I had. My results may not be typical. You may not get any results. All of this is really just for educational purposes and blah, blah, blah. I'm not guaranteeing you anything. I'm just telling you what really happened to me. And that's just for your educational enjoyment, and whatever you decide to do with your own money is your thing, and you're responsible for that. But if I were doing this, I would highly recommend this same course that I took, which is this course from Tom at latenightim.com/Tom. That's TOM. Look for that discount code. And in that class, you learn how to set up Facebook Marketplace. You learn where to source items in the simplest way. You learn which items are going to be profitable and which items won't be profitable. Which ones should you even bother trying to sell? You learn how to manage your items and how to reprice them. He even teaches about these new repricers that we're trying out right now, that my son and I are trying out. Teaches you how to track your sales and how to run your business and how to do customer service. And there's some advanced strategies in there too that are pretty cool that he talks about. So it's a complete course, really easy to get through. Tom's a pretty cool guy. Again, that's latenightim.com/Tom. So I hope that helps you out. If you have any questions about that, don't even hesitate to hit me up. Just send me an email at feedback@latenightim.com, or just go to latenightim.com/feedback and let me know what you're thinking and how I can help you. It's been a really interesting thing. Now, what my son and I are thinking about doing next is adding wholesale suppliers so that we can have more unique items, because there's no barrier to entry here. One of the things that's exciting for you in the beginning, but not so exciting later on, is anyone can do this. Anyone with a Facebook account can do this. That's great when you're getting started, but not so great from a competition standpoint. So one of the things that we're doing is instead of using retail suppliers like eBay and Amazon and Walmart, we're going to start moving to investigating wholesale drop shipping suppliers, where we have an actual business relationship with a wholesale supplier that doesn't sell to the public, but that will sell through us, and they will do drop shipping. And that's sort of the next step. And you can get some extra margin there. So in that case, maybe you can get 35% margin on some of these products. That's what we're going to be trying to do next. And in addition to that, we're also going to try and expand this drop shipping business onto Walmart.com, very similar to Amazon.com. Walmart right now is very profitable for drop shippers, but it's hard to get approved to sell on there. And because of my internet marketing experience, we're hoping that we have what we need to get approved for Walmart. And we'll talk more about that later. I mean, I expect by the end of summer, we'll be up and running on Walmart, and I'll let you know how that goes. Again, any questions, latenightim.com/feedback. So one thing I wanted to leave you with before we get out of here today is I want to spend every week talking a little bit about mindset and motivational topics. And I know that sounds a little wishy-washy and fuzzy, warm, fuzzy, cuddly, but I think it's really important. You guys know that about me. And I just want to make sure we have a regular segment about getting our mind right. And one of the things that we've talked about many times on the show, but I just want to make sure that I want to remind you of this because it's impacting me a lot right now, is the value of mastermind groups. Now, a mastermind group is a group of people that are like-minded, that are working in your best interest. Even, usually it's a group of people that get together periodically. There are various formats for this, but fundamentally you're talking about what's going on in your business, and people are offering you advice and in sometimes assistance, trying to figure out how to help everyone in the group move forward. This is good for two things. One is it's really good for accountability, because if you've got the kind of mastermind group who's, you tell them, hey, before we meet again, I'm going to do this thing. And then you have to meet with that group and you don't do that thing. That's going to be really bad for you. So, mastermind groups are really good for accountability. I think they're also really good for getting ideas to solutions, because a lot of times we say you can't read the label from inside the jar. And I think there's no place that's more true than with your own business as an entrepreneur. Sometimes you're just too close to it to come up with the solution or the right idea. And quite frankly, sometimes you may not have the right experience to know what the solution is. Great thing about a mastermind, especially if it's a somewhat diverse group, is they're going to be people that have different experiences than you, people that have done what you're doing before, or they've done something related, or they recognize something that they've experienced before that they can tell you about so you can avoid that mistake. That's a super valuable piece of a mastermind, and something that really makes masterminds worthwhile. So what do you do if you don't have a mastermind? How do you go find one? Well, I would start by finding one or two like-minded people in Facebook groups or places where you normally hang out, and say, hey, how would you guys like to meet once a week over Skype, or I guess these days over Zoom, and just talk about what's going on? And a great format is just to ask, hey, what went really well for you today, and or this week rather, or since the last time we met? What's one of your wins, and what do you intend to accomplish before we meet again? And then, of course, have you accomplished what you said you were going to accomplish? So those three things. And then with the remaining time, one of the things that I like is to rotate through with something called a hot seat, where one member of the group, it rotates around, but one member of the group has the lion's share of the time to talk about whatever problems or struggles or help needed they have. And you just talk it out. And so that's a great format for the mastermind group. And I totally recommend that you do that. Another option is that you can go join a paid mastermind group. My friend Cliff Ravenscraft runs a couple of amazing high level, high intensity mastermind groups that generate huge results for the people in them. So, you can do something like that as well. And that is another option for you. Whatever you do, you need to be in a mastermind group. That's my strong opinion. At least one mastermind group, because if you're just sitting alone in your house, you're not able to realize your full potential. Okay, that's it for this week. I'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed the dropshipping update. That's been a lot of fun. It's been a long time coming. It's been fun for me and my son because we get to laugh about all the weird stuff that we're selling, and that's a lot of fun. But until next week, ciao.
You can do it right when it's late at night.
You've been listening to the Late Night Internet Marketing Podcast.
Be sure to visit LNIM218.com today to leave feedback for Mark. Download special bonus content, access the show notes, and more. See you there.
Until then, go and make some great progress on your internet business, one night at a time.
Business one night at a time.
All right. If my voice sounded funny during that, it's only because it is funny. There's something in the air here in Texas. I got a little bit of I'm a kind of an allergy guy, and man, something is really bugging my voice today. So I apologize for that. When it comes to funny stuff, let me just read to you some of the funny stuff that we have sold. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. But let's see, lots of water pumps, magnifying loops, the kind you look at jewelry, body art, tattoo stickers, lots of fishing tackle, wind chimes, tools for automobiles, including oxygen sensor socket kits, military tactical backpacks, Pokemon action figures, cup holders for cars, over the toilet cabinets for bathrooms, racks for jewelry and for displaying food, anti-snoring devices. I don't know. It's just a very long list. Several pizza ovens. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff. So if you're wondering, well, I don't know what I would sell. I mean, you would sell whatever is popular. That's one of the cool things about that course that I mentioned, latenightim.com/Tom course. That's he tells you how to find them stuff. So really cool, amazing, weird stuff. And I'm going to go get some water or hot tea with lemon. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Late night internet marketing.
Hey, it's Mark again. I wanted to tell you one more time about this absolutely free resource that I have for helping people who are trying to get the big picture for internet marketing, actually get started and understand what all their choices are. If that's not you, there's no more content. You can skip to the end. But if you're someone who came to this podcast because you're searching for how to get started online and you just can't cut through all the noise, I get it. That was me. In 2007, when I was trying to get started, there were so many people throwing offers at me that I really couldn't even understand what all the different business models were. I couldn't understand how money moved around on the internet, and I couldn't really get a grip on what direction I wanted to go in so I could figure out how to move forward. I've created a free video resource for you just for that purpose at latenightim.com/explain. In several short videos, I just explained to you what internet marketing is all about and what online business is all about and the different options that you have for starting an online business. there's nothing to buy there. You just sign up for access and you get the videos just like that. So if that's interesting to you, or if you know someone who's in a same situation, send them that link, latenightim.com/explain, and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what people are thinking that are in the exact same position that I was in more than a decade ago in 2007. In some ways, it seems like yesterday. And in some ways, it seems like an entire lifetime ago. Again, that's latenightim.com/explain.
Late night internet marketing.